Okay, thank you. Finally.
I've heard you talk about the delegation in there talking about the instant fines and the leveraging of the technology on how to ensure that later on those who go against the regulations are fined instantly, and this amount channeling to the funding of road safety. You can just elaborate on that so that Kenyans can actually get this bit.
Let me start with the border and what we are doing, and I'll ask the NTSA CEO, George Njau, to delve into that, because like you point out, Mwaura, it's quite a challenge, because the economic activity in Kenya, you'll agree, is significantly driven by the size of economy we are. And this is why border is a significant mode of transport today. And while we support border and we promote border as an economic enabler, we'll work very closely with border through the late kind of pronouncement that they now need to be put into circles, the way Matatu operate, so that they are more identifiable, they are more trainable. We can have programs of circles coming in and training of trainers, so that we can inculcate discipline, because whereas border is a great economic enabler and we want to support them and we'll support them, we do not wish anybody who feels like I can get into border business to basically buy a border today, learn in the afternoon, and tomorrow they are riding a border and carrying 4 or 5 people and driving on the wrong side of the road. Not because they are rude, not because they know, they need to be trained. And therefore, as we bring them into these circles, and bringing them into circles not to punish them, but to train them and to enable them to be of more economic usefulness to the country. Because you'll agree, when you go to the bus stop and you are waiting for a Matatu to fill 20 people in the vehicle, and you are doing 1 kilometer, border can do that for you very quickly. You can order lunch and an Uber rider can arrive. But we need to inculcate the discipline, training, and therefore we are structuring that space and working together with the multi-agency team, including yourselves, to educate this crop of economic activity through easing transport, and going not necessarily through tarmac roads, but through very narrow roads and crossing Bailey bridges to support us. So we support border, we will be training them, we'll be working together to ensure that what we see in our road, and sometimes we interpret it to be kisirani, ama they are, what do you call it? They don't have discipline, nidhamu. We really work with them to train them and to get them to appreciate. We don't want to have a whole ward when you go to hospital dealing with border riders who have got fractured legs and fractured rims, and they can never really be of economic usefulness to their families. And yet when the family went out to buy that border, it was for economic benefit. We'll be working with borders very positively. We need training, we need them to cooperate, and not so much, but we'll also be working to instill discipline and to enforce the regulations. Where there's training, we expect that to come down. With respect to the concern raised by my brother here, what was that again, remind me? The instant fines. We are working on an instant fine system that brings together the NTSA as the enforcer. The manager of the Traffic Act brings the implementation of the Traffic Act, which is the national traffic, the police, and the judiciary, to really see how to work together. We are in the final stages. We will be looking at a cabinet memo that addresses how we will, even the revenues that are paid in are basically in what you call appropriation in aid, how that revenue is shared between the agencies implementing the instant fines, and so that we do not also overload our courts with petty crimes. But when you know there is instant discipline, people are also bound to really not wish to misbehave on the road. So that is fairly advanced. We have the building blocks together. We just need to go to cabinet, agree with the judiciary, agree with the National Police and NTSA, of course the Ministry of Transport, on the management of the revenues, because it will cost money. Who will own the cameras? Who will maintain the cameras? Who will have sight in the control room of what is happening in our roads when we implement the instant fines through the junction cameras? We have in ITS, the integrated traffic system, and equally we have got a digital driving license. So that's fairly advanced and we are working on that. Pengine nigomea hapo kidogo, niulize Bwana Badi atuongeleshe kidogo, but I want the host to come in first. George Njau, please.
Thank you very much. Nyinyi pia tu media muna jukumu kuona kwa wizara hivi sasa inapeleka elimu ya mambo ya usalama ndani ya maskuli. Kwa hivyo ni nyinyi pia muendeleze kuona kwa na nyinyi mnafahamisha wengine juu ya mambo kama haya. Kwa hivyo kwa haya mengi ambayo nimeongea, nashukuru sana. Mashirika yameunganishwa yote pamoja na pia wote watafanya kazi wakiwa pamoja ili kuweza kwa common goal. Asante sana. Kumeulizwa swali zuri ambalo ile swali uliouliza wewe limeulizwa huko ndani pia. Swali hilo limeulizwa kwa sababu katika maneno ambayo umesema wewe ni kwa kuwa kuna vizuizi vya mambo kama ya bumps. Bump yasaidia na bump inaua. Hivyo ndivyo ambavyo tumemwambia huko ndani. Kwa sababu ukiweka bump bila kuweka alama, anayekuja ana fly juu ya bump. Na bump kazi yake ni kuona kwa imeweza kuwekwa ili magari yaweze kuslow down. Lakini kwa shauri ya Mheshimiwa Davis Chirchir ambaye anataka report kwa haraka iwezekanavyo baina ya miezi, tutafanya juu chini kuona ripoti hiyo. Sisi pia tumescrutinize kama bunge kuona ni vitu gani ambavyo vinatakana vifanywe kwa hizo black spots kwa sababu zajulikana na ni
It involves many other plethora of actors in government, including anti-counterfeit agency, including Ministry of Health, including internal security and national administration. As a ministry, we are determined to leverage on technology, and that is why we want to roll out several regulations that my CS will do so within the course of this month, that will look at the issue of motor vehicle inspection, that will look at the issue of leveraging on technology, including the use of telematics for both commercial service vehicles and school transportation, and will also look into the issue of drink driving to ensure that we work together with the National Police Service and reintroduce ways of measuring the content of alcohol for drivers who are under the influence. We also want to make sure that we use cameras and technology to implement the minor traffic offences rules of 2016. As you are aware that those rules have 37 different offences, and we must make sure that we use, yes, the police, but we also use on technology to make sure that we avoid people from hanging outside vehicles, we avoid people, driving on pavement and pedestrian footpath, and all other offences that are outlaid there. Waziri, maybe you can pick it up from there.
Like I said, we are here with the members of Parliament Transport Committee. Badi, the member of Parliament for Chomvu, atatubia kwa Kiswahili atueleze tunafanya nini pamoja ili really rahisisha maneno ya shida ya barabara, kuhusika na kupoteza maisha kiolela kwa sababu pengine hatufanyi kazi pamoja vile inavyotakikana. But before Badi comes here, and the CEO for NTSA, George Njau, allow me to take one or two questions because I have to step into another function in a short while. So I'll take 2-3 questions, and then I'll allow Badi and the NTSA CEO to address the other issues.
So, the numbers have been rising, and looking at this year's numbers up to September, more than 3,000 people that have lost their lives. what are some of the challenges that maybe you faced in terms of addressing those issues? And two, during the Jukwaa La Usalama, one of the senior police officers alluded to that NTSA officials are the biggest weekly in terms of implementation. Some of them are accused of demanding bribes of up to 50,000 shillings. What do you have to say about it?
Can I address all of them together? Yes, please.
You spoke about the issue of signage. What is maybe the estimated budget that is required to ensure that signage is well made?
Thank you. Let me start with your name was? Mtalai from Citizen. Let me address the concern of rising accidents. And you know, why are we having a multi-agency? We need to really address road carnage together, from media to judiciary, parliament in terms of kurahisisha maneno ya regulations and implementation of the law. Because you do, for example, know that when a drunken driver causes an accident out there, and yet you could have stopped and curtailed that accident using the traditional alcohol blow, which was declared not within the law, then we face a challenge. So the aspect of multi-agency is now really seeking that we educate ourselves as government with those concerns, like you have said, the rising carnage on our roads. And so that when I go out there and I'm drunk and driving, the legal mechanism do appreciate that I'm not just endangering my life, I'm endangering the life of many road users out there. And therefore, what should we do to implement and enforce regulations? How do we work with the police to make sure that by allowing this particular vehicle that is supposed to have been inspected, fairing gas or petrochemicals, to basically go beyond a police roadblock and cause an accident 2 kilometers down the road and take away innocent lives. And this is why the multi-agency is a big statement in terms of, can we deal with this together so that it is not an NTSA responsibility? How do we deal with it from school? In that today we have curriculum starting January this year implemented in schools, so that as you go out there, in the way we live, we inculcate discipline in the use of our roads. I remember when we were growing up, you used to be told, look left, look right, and look left before you cross. If you ask our children today, is that program running in our schools? So that in the effort by that driver who is shocked by somebody who suddenly crosses the road, does not veer off and kill not just one, but kill many people. And this is the essence of the multi-agency.
In regards to the case, NTSA has zero tolerance in regards to corruption. I believe you can check the CCIO Migori. The case was filed there. A subsequent case was filed at Capitol Hill, and EACC has taken up the matter. So we are a zero tolerance institution, and the case is active and it's live, and it's currently at the moment at CCIO Migori, as well as Capitol Hill, Nairobi, and the officer is being investigated by EACC. In regards to the issue of the Boda sector, we have entered into a partnership with Konza Technopolis as a joint MOU to help support, establish a platform that will be able to register them and support them, so as not to burden them with additional platforms and systems, be able to achieve that. So I think that answers the two questions that were pending, that were asked. Yes. Right. Sasa hapo kizungu kimeisha.
Kizungu kimeisha. Kwa majina naitwa Mheshimiwa Badi Twalib. Mimi ni mbunge wa eneo bunge la Jomvu. Alafu vile vile ni mwanakamati wa uchukuzi ya kamati ya bunge. Na mimi hapa nimeandamana na ndugu yangu kutoka Nakuru, Mheshimiwa Arama. Vile vile tuna Mheshimiwa Sane na tuna Mheshimiwa Chege ambaye yuko hapa. Nafikiri yangu hata kwa mengi sana, isipokuwa ni kuongezea tu kwa Kiswahili kwa yale ambayo yamejiri hapa leo, na kusema kuwa tunampongeza Mheshimiwa Waziri Davis Chirchir sana, kwa sababu zoezi hili lilianza tarehe 1 April mwaka jana pale KCC, ambapo ndio iliweza kuwa launched hii Road Safety Convention na His Excellency the President mwenyewe, na leo tunashukuru sana Mheshimiwa Waziri amesema 1st of September, alisema ni 1st of November kwa ataka awe ameletewa hii report ya hii multi agency yote ambayo itashughulikia mambo ya road safety. Kwa hivyo hii inamaanisha kuwa atakuwa na follow up, sio leo kwa tumekuja tu peke yake kufanya mambo ya uzinduzi alafu pia nakwenda, lakini waziri ameamua atafuatilizia. Nataka kutoa ushauri pia kusema kuwa kuna jukwaa la usalama ambalo linaendelea na Mheshimiwa Murkomen. Kwa hivyo na sisi pia tuna propose kama kamati ya transport kusema kwa kuwe na jukwaa la usalama barabarani specifically ili kuangalia mambo ya barabara na zile ajali ambazo zatokea. Tumeelezwa sababu zile ambazo zatokea za ajali barabarani, na kitu ambacho nitaeleza mimi ambao yaingia kwa pande yetu kama komiti ni kusema kuwa kuna mwanahabari mmoja ameuliza swali la maana sana hapa ila kuhusiana na mambo ya kuweka nembo ama signs ama alama za barabarani. Hiyo ni kitu ya muhimu sana ambayo sisi tutataka waziri akija kitaka budget atakuja kwetu kudefend his budget, alafu sisi tutaona kuwa tuweze kupitisha budget hiyo kwa parliamentary budget committee. Lakini kwa ufupi tu wa leo tumekuja hapa sisi kama komiti ya transport kuja kuungana mkono kwa siku 3 ili kuona kuwa tutashirikiana na sisi kuangalia yale ambayo yatajiri hapa tuweze kusaidiana. Na swala la usalama haliko kwa polisi peke yake, is a collective responsibility. Kila mahali ni muhimu watu waone kuwa swala la usalama wameweza kulifuata kwa kina na kwa hali ambayo ni sawasawa. Hata nyinyi pia watu wa media, swala hili pia ni muhimu muliangazie ili kuona kuwa kuna yale mazuri sio mabaya peke yake. Unaona kuna ulizwa maswali hapa. Jambo ya kwanza tutakaotoka kwa media wasikia ni corruption. Jambo ya pili kuliongwa sui nani. Jambo ya tatu sio kunaongwa mtu gani.
Escalation of accidents and fatalities in our roads. So we are here for the next 3 days starting today on Thursday. We are here tomorrow and we are here on Saturday to review and look at the gains made, have a dialogue and conversation regarding what we must all do together to ensure that we bring down road carnage on our roads, including implementation of the various policies and regulations that are in place, putting in necessary budgetary support to ensure that we are able to implement those policies, action them, and ensure that we curtail and ensure that lives are not unnecessarily lost, because those lives lost on our roads are breadwinners. They are not just individuals. They carry families. They carry the economy, because we lose real good brains, real good energy in the youth that we lose in our roads and the people we need to support this economy today and in the days to come. You are aware that our accidents run to about 4,600 in fatalities every year, and we have got targets to bring them down through working as a multi-agency team, which brings together, like I said, all the agencies in terms of supporting and working together to reduce the fatalities on our roads. We are here with the members of Parliament, Transport Committee. We are here with Kena, Kura. We are here with the Ministry of Health. We are here with the National Police Service. We are here with any agency which has got an input, including the judiciary, in supporting us to enforce and work together, recognizing that lives lost in our roads impact heavily in our economy. So we want to thank you for really helping us to be here to cover and basically promote why road safety. And it's very important that even as we talk within Mombasa, we talk to Kenyans through the support of the media. I want to thank you, and I've got a few comments from my colleagues on what we are doing together. Let me invite one or two of the colleagues to more delve into the details of what we are working to achieve in those in that 5-year program, 2024-2028 action plan. I thank you. You want me to take questions, or do we, because we could answer those questions by having the PS to delve into the more detailed program, and thereafter we can take questions. I thank you. Bwana PS Dagar.
What do you say in Swahili? Yes, just to pick up from where the Cabinet Secretary left, we have 8 priority areas of action in our National Road Safety Action Plan for 2024-2028. And the first priority area is actually coordination and partnership. And that is why we are here today as government to take stock on what we have done in the first year that has since lapsed, and that we are planning to do in the remainder 3 years on delivering as one. Because as we are aware, road accidents is not a purview of only the National Transport Safety Authority.
And taking responsibility, providing not just budgets for road marking, because it's not only road marking and signage which causes accidents, it is equally a drunken driver, a vehicle which has not been inspected. How do we make sure that inspection, when it is a must, people don't get roadworthiness sticker when the vehicle is not roadworthy and end up really harming the future and collapsing livelihoods of a family, depending on the dependent who we lose on our roads. So we are working together. We'll be auditing each other. We've got targets to deliver in terms of what we all must do. And in an unfortunate situation where an accident has happened, how do we deal with the post-trauma? Do we have the kind of hospitals to deal with that, so that if you see us today as we build Marwa Sagana Road, we have a post-trauma hospital along that corridor. So that is the effort and the results that you will see from the multi-agencies working together. And therefore, as we gazette the 4 regulations that Dagar talked about, we will be having a better implementation framework, not just implementation, including enforcement, to ensure that we do not see a rising accidents like you mentioned, because if then it continues rising, it means the interventions we are putting in place are not working. So this is why we are here, to review and ask that question that you've asked. Why is it rising even 1 year after we commissioned this action plan? And therefore, we really want to see lives saved and roads used for economic activities, but roads not used to basically curtail lives and basically destroy livelihoods for those of us who are dependents of a whole community or a whole family for that matter. Can I take 2 more and then you excuse me? Let's go.
Thank you. My name is Samuel